And so finally, I want to talk about the exact logic of why it doesn't work. And I hinted at this because I said that it's like, you know, I don't know how your car works, and I'm going to make it work better. Okay? That is inherently illogical. And yet, people fall for this stuff all the time. Okay? How could anyone possibly make your car work better without understanding how it works to begin with? And there are three specific reasons why socialism cannot, scientifically cannot ever achieve even its own goals. And they all deal with the nature of the human mind, because economics is all about the human mind. You know, other animals don't have economics. This is a human thing. And the first thing you need to understand about the human mind is that we cannot predict the future. We are obsessed with the future. No other animal is obsessed with the future. You think bees and butterflies and chipmunks think about what the future is going to be compared to the present? This is a uniquely human thing. We humans are fascinated with the future. We think about it all the time, but we never know. In fact, it's amazing how much they don't get it right. If you read or watch any kind of science fiction, even from just a few years ago, it's always breathtaking to me how wrong they are about everything. You know, you watch Star Trek, okay? My cell phone is so much better than Captain Kirk's communicator. Yeah. It's not even funny, okay? He's supposed to be in the 23rd century. His communicator doesn't even get the internet, okay? My cell phone, just a few years after Star Trek was on the air, my cell phone is leaps and bounds ahead of his 23rd century communicator. On the other hand, that beaming people down to the planet thing, you know, I don't know about that one. I haven't seen any serious experiments with that at all. Who the heck knows what the future is going to bring? So this is a uniquely human situation. An unquestionable part of the human condition is to be fascinated with the future. We want the future, we care about the future, and nobody really knows. So how do you deal with that? Well, capitalism, like all good functioning human institutions, has a mechanism to deal with this. And the mechanism is very simple. If you guess the future right, you get rewarded. If you guess the future wrong, you get punished. And that causes people to make the best possible guesses. If I'm investing in the stock market, you know, I'm trying to guess what the future is going to be like, am I not? If I'm buying a house, I'm guessing about the housing market in the future. I'm guessing about my family. If my family is bigger or smaller. We make these guesses all the time. Is the town I'm moving to, is that prospering or declining economically? We make these guesses all the time. And we don't know. But in capitalism, we move forward as billions of individual people make their guesses. Is that not so? And the one who gets it right, suddenly everyone's going that way. I can remember when we didn't know if it was going to be Beta or VHS. Remember that? Remember Beta or VHS? You go to the store, oh, well, which one? I don't know. And now it's neither. It's DVDs, and then it's online, and it keeps going. But somebody somewhere has come up with the next thing. And I don't even know who it is, and I don't know what he doesn't even know that he's got the next thing until it's the next thing. And suddenly everybody's there. That's how capitalism moves us ahead step by step by step. How does socialism work? Well, when the socialists take over, and that's, by the way, a sentence worth examining, because you know, it's always like you had the capitalists and the socialists take over. It's not like there's some society that's been socialist all along. A society that's socialist all along may be living in caves. Okay, the socialists look at what the capitalists have achieved and say, all right, well, what do the capitalists have? The capitalists have microwave ovens. And they have cell phones, and they have laptop computers, so you're in charge of microwave ovens, and you're in charge of cell phones, and you're in charge of laptop computers. Go make that stuff. I'm the socialist leader. I'm giving you the authority and the resources you need to make all that stuff that we see that the capitalists have. But here's the question. How does the socialist leader know what's supposed to be next? He can't, because nobody knows. How do you know what's going to be next? Were you guys sitting around in the 1980s waiting for the internet to come along? You're like, what? I want to buy stuff on Amazon. When is it showing up? It's supposed to be here in a minute now. Nobody knows that. And you could say, well, the socialist government will have a department to come up with innovations, but innovations don't come from the Department of Innovation. Innovations come from somebody doing something in a way that everybody else thinks is wrong until it works better. And then everyone drops what they were doing and starts doing it the way that this guy is doing it over here. That's where every innovation from the beginning of the world to today has come from, is the guy who's doing it the wrong way until it actually works better that way. And so what happens is socialism stagnates. If you don't believe me, go look at the video of our president's trip to Cuba a couple weeks ago. Cuba, you watch it, look at my mouth dropping over. It's a time capsule. It's going back in time. There's these 1950s cars. I thought I was watching Happy Days. They're wearing 1950s clothes. They live in 1950s houses with 1950s appliances, like the land of time forgot. Because that's when the socialists showed up. And everything is right, it's frozen right at that moment. Okay? Now, it's an interesting phenomenon. Sometimes collectivist societies benefit from the freedom in free societies. So, for example, in the Soviet Union, by the 1980s, the Soviet Union had color television. Why? Because we had color television. And the Soviet Union could realize that over there in America, they color television, and they could send somebody to Kmart to get a color television and bring it back and figure out, and now we got color television. But here's the question. Had there been no free world, which is what the communists wanted, right? Their whole plan was they wanted to have one communist society in the whole world. Who thinks they'd have color television? Even to this day. Of course, they never would have had color television. They probably never would have had television at all. Because nobody knew that that was supposed to be coming along, and they wouldn't have had the example to follow. Okay? You get stagnation. It is inevitable. And more so, the more dominant the socialist society is. And so that's the first reason. The second reason why socialism can't work is that we're greedy and lazy humans.